Alright, yo, what up, boys? Today I'm going to be showing my Cyber Dragon deck here. This is what I use personally, minus the 2 Galaxy Soldier, because I don't have them yet, I can't get them yet. But everything else about this is what I use personally, or just like in real life stuff. So, going through the deck, we have 3 Cyber Dragon. We do play machine duplication over here. Get into that later. So it's very important that you play 3. Um, pretty pretty good effect. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this from your hand. Cannot be chained off of. Cannot be negated because it does not start a chain, which is really good. Then we have 3 Cyber Dragon Core. Core, if he is normal summoned, adds a Cyber Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. That is a mandatory effect, meaning if you can do it, you have to do it. So, like I normal summon it, and even if I have only like 1 Cyber Emergency in my deck, I have to get that Cyber Emergency from my deck. And also, if only your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck, which is really good. Next up is 3 Hertz. Hertz, he only has effects over here. If he's special summoned, you can make him become level 5. But if you do that, you can only summon machine monsters after that. You never use that. Use his second effect, this effect here. If you send to the graveyard, you can add one of the Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And that's used in conjunction with Cybernetic Horizon here. 1 Naxter. I'm thinking about putting this to 2. I think I'll just take out one of the Chimeras over here. But right now, that's 1. You can discard a monster and special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal special summon, you can target 1 machine monster with 2100 attack or defense in your graveyard and special summon it. And then you can only special summon monsters for the rest of it. You can only special summon monsters turn except for machines. So 2 Chimera. This is a actually good power bond searcher. You just do it by discarding a spell or trap and adding power bond to your hand. This is also really good because if you use this effect, when you fusion summon, automatically turns into an overload fusion with no dark restriction. So say like you search power bond, you have stuff in your graveyard, activate power bond, and then you can use stuff in your graveyard to bring out, like say your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon down here. 3 Claw. The only effect that you actually physically can use is discarding it to add a Cyber Dark Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. And in round 3, because we really want to see these, not that one, but these 2. Getting into these, Cyber Dark Realm. When it's activated, you can add a Cyber Dark monster from your deck to your hand with different names in your graveyard, which that's always going to be apparent. And then you can't do anything else with it. It's just a dead card once you activate that, but still, it's good. This card is really good. I really need to put this to 2. Not to 2, to 3. It's treated as a Cyber Dark card, which is good. So you can search it off of Claw. And of course, it has Cyber in the name, so you can search it off Core. That's automatically 8 ways of seeing it. Actually, 11, because you have Cyber Emergency down here. You can when you're activated, send 2 Dragon and or Machine Cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, 1 from your hand and deck, and then add 1 Dragon or Machine Cyber monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, send a Cyber Fusion monster from your deck to your graveyard. You can only activate 1 per turn. And that is good because you send your Chimera and Hertz. Hertz adds a Cyber Dragon. This adds Daxter and sends Cyber Eternity Dragon. which is really good for setup and stuff, because you can just discard the Cyber Dragon you had from this, special summon that and stuff, which you'll see later. Galaxy Soldier, you can send one other light monster from your hand to the graveyard and special summon it in defense. And when this card is special summoned, you know, one Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. That you like discard you discard Hertz. Of course, Galaxy Soldier adds Galaxy Soldier. Hertz adds Cyber Dragon. You could do this again to summon another one, and make your Nova, and then Infinity. Fusion cards, we have Cyberload Fusion, Overload Fusion, and Power Bond. Pretty simple. Cyber Emergency. Add one light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, or one Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. If the activation of this card in its owner's possession was negated by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you could discard a card to add it back to your hand, which is actually pretty powerful. But you can only activate one per turn, but you have follow-up for the next turn. Cyber Repair Plant. If Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, you can activate one of these effects, but if you have 3 or more Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, you can do both. And one cool thing about it is that all of these right here, and some of these down here, all count as Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. While on the field or in the graveyard. So, you activate Machine Dupe on core, you get to summon 2 Cyber Dragon. You use this to add Cyber Dragon, and these. But their effects is add one light machine monster from your deck to hand, and target one light machine monster in your graveyard, shuffle that target to the deck. So, next we have Machine Dupe. Pretty simple. Target one machine monster you control with 500 or less attack, switches on to 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that face-up monster. Like I said, you do like Hertz or Core, summon 2 Cyber Dragon, but if their effect gets negated, you have to summon 2 of the one that you have right here. Now into the hand traps. 3 Ghost Ogre. When a monster on the field activates its effects, or when a spell or trap that is already face up on the field activates its effects, you can send this card from your hand to the hand or field to the graveyard. Destroy that card. Effect Veiler, pretty simple. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. The target one effective monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. Imperm is basically Effect Veiler, but not during your main phase, not during their main phase. You can do it in your main phase. And it is a trap, but you can activate it from your hand if you don't control any cards. And if it was set, negate all spell trap cards in the same column as it was set. I don't have a side deck because I couldn't really think of one. I really need to make one. But the extra deck here, on Cyber Twin Dragon, you never use it. It's just a filler spot. You can sometimes make it. All it does is that you can attack twice with it. Cyber Trinity Dragon, on the other hand, is really good. You don't use any of its first 2 effects, but you always use the third one, which is you can banish this card from your graveyard, and now your opponent cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is really good. Nova, it's pretty simple. You only use its effect to detach one, and summon a Cyber Dragon from your... Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. It does have other effects. The only other relevant one is if it's since your graveyard by a card effect, you special summon one machine fusion monster from your extra deck. In one Infinity, you can make Infinity by just putting it on top of Nova. Infinity can suck up an attack position monster, and also it can negate an activation of a card once returned by detaching material, and gains 200 to attack for each material it has, which is pretty good. Cyber Dragon Seeger. You use its effect that during the battle phase, if you haven't declared an attack with this card, you could target one machine monster you control with 2100 or more attack, and for the rest of the turn it gains 2100 attack. But you don't take battle damage during... The opponent doesn't take battle damage involving Seeger, so you just don't attack the Seeger. Unless you want to get over something. Command Check Fortress Dragon. just used for taking machines and just pile them together. It's contact fusing. So if like you're facing your opponent and they're running machines, you're going second. This is going second deck. You could just special summon Cyber Dragon and then say bye bye field. And boom. Now you have like a over 3 to 4,000 beater because it gains 1,000 attack for each material used. Mega Fleet Dragon. It's kind of the same as this one, but it requires a Cyber Dragon and one or more monsters in the extra monster zone. Meaning, it's like if this was your field here, you'd have the extra monster zones up here. It requires Cyber Dragon, one of those, against one of 1,200 attack for each fusion material. Rampage Dragon, the best one. Always play 2 of this. Don't play 3. Play 2 because 3 is too much and 1 is not enough. This card's really good because it can attack multiple times. It sends monsters to the graveyard. All that stuff. You power bond it out and you have Seeger. That's a 6,300 beast that can attack 3 times. You're gonna kill your opponent with that. Salamangreat Almirage. Oh, it's Salamangreat in a Cyber Dragon deck. Yes, but it can be used effectively. It's a normal summon monster with 1,000 less attack, i.e. your core and Hertz. Maybe Naxter. But it's just used to get a Cyber Dragon name into the graveyard to get your repair plan going. Protoplant Verte Anaconda. This is a beast of a card. You need to play this card because you can pay 2k life points, send one fusion or poly from your deck, and its effect becomes that card's effect. Meaning you can just make 2 monsters, summon it, activate its effect, overload fusion. You have an overload fusion and a Cyberload fusion at your fingertips. So you do need to have stuff in the graveyard prior to that, but still, it's good. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to be doing test hands. So let's go to Dual Rune, Solo Mode. So we're doing test hands. It's just against nobody, so we can just do whatever we want here. So our opening hand here. So we have 2 Hertz, a Cyber Emergency, Repair Plant, and Realm. So what I would do here is activate the Cyber Emergency to get our core to our hand. And then we will normal said core, using its effect to get the Horizon to the hand. And then we shall activate said Horizon, sending Hertz and Chimera not to hand, and doing that, add our Cyber Dragon, and Hertz will add us our Naxter. Sorry for text a little bit, my internet lags. This Cyber Dragon is the Naxter. And now sending that to grave. So you just gained card advantage. You see, you traded that card in the Hertz for now a setup. So you're gonna activate that and send that to grave, summon that, using this card's effect to summon the Chimera, because it has 2100 defense. Special summon that there. Gonna activate its effect to send the realm to grave. That's the extra deck. Now our power wand. And now we're going to turn these two into our Seeker. You activate the power bond using our core and our Naxter to make our Rampage Dragon at 4,200 attack. Then we're going to go ahead and activate its effect to send 2 light machines to the grave to give it more attacks. Boom. Alright, so and now we can enter the battle phase, and since you're going second, you're going to be able to attack. You activate Seeker to make Rampage 63, and you have 1 attack with a 42, but won't do damage. You can just run over something, and 2 attacks with a 63. That is pretty good. And if you wanted to, if you don't kill them, you're in the main phase 2, what I would do is I would link these two into Verte effect for us to take 2,000 and send the Cyberload Fusion to the graveyard. And using Cyberload Fusion to shuffle these back into the deck. In summoning our second Rampage. And I'm thinking, why did we summon the second Rampage? If we can attack again. We're gonna overlay them into our Nova. Now we're gonna activate Nova to summon Cyber Dragon. Now we're just gonna use Nova to make Infinity. You pass the turn, so your opponent activates something, you gotta negate. Well, that's all that fun stuff. That was a test hand. That was like generally you want your core. You want either you want like a discard of a spell trap. You want machine dupe. You can have a few different one of the Cyber Dragons with machine dupe. Kind of have to have core with the spell trap discard. If you have Horizon or Claw with you, what that spell trap discard, you're golden. And that is the that's all. So yeah, don't suck at the game. So yeah, that was the deck profile. Was a test hand. I probably should have done more, but everything will look like that. Almost every hand will look like that unless you open absolute doo-doo. Trying to think of a hand that would be like that. Because you're going to be okay, so you'd have to be going first. Like 3 Hertz in both Chimera is the only hand I can think of that's actually bad. Yeah, pretty sure. I would say this deck is pretty powerful. Excuse me. I would say it does have big potential. I'd say the max this could probably win. It's maybe like top 32. Not top 32. Yeah. top 50 in a 200-man regional, maybe. Cyber Dragon has seen some big success before, but this is what I have. I mean, they ran like Dragoon. They ran some like really weird stuff because I didn't want to run the Dragoon package because I don't like Dragoon. Dragoon can just oh, I really don't like Dragoon. But I like this deck. I really do. It's mechanical dragons that can beef themselves up and kill you in one turn. I mean, look at this. Look at this. That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, I like dragons. I like machines. Machine dragons. And they can summon themselves out. They get you resources. The Cyberdarks, they're awesome. These two are awesome. And just look at the artwork. Look at it. Look at this. I don't even know what that is, but I like it. It's awesome. And he's cool too. But like Powerbond, you see, no, Powerbond here, you have like him welding something without a mask. Cyber Emergency, he's crash landing onto a planet. And these are just hand traps. That's awesome. That's cool. That he has literal thunder and lightning in his mouth. And he's cool too. But yeah, I just like big dragons, big powerful dragons, and why not make them machines while you're at it? That's just me. There's other people that like magician girls, which I don't want to get into that. But yeah, that's it. Peace.